I am outside here at Norfolk's historic Naro Theater, where tonight we are going to be watching the 1986 classic. Was it 87? I'm not really sure because I haven't seen this yet. We're watching The Lost Boys. I've never seen The Lost Boys, so I figured the best time to see it would be on the big screen. So that's what we're going to do here tonight. Of course, as I said, I have no idea what the movie is about. I've never seen it before. Just from going by pop culture, I know Kiefer Sutherland, the two Coreys, Jason Patric, Jamie Gertz, and Alex Winter are in the film. I'm guessing what it's about is, two normal human boys, played by the Coreys, get involved with the vampires, and shenanigans happen. So we'll see. Now, this isn't going to be like a movie reaction video because obviously I can't record in the movie theater while the movie's playing. That'd be rude. But yeah, I'll see what I can do though.
All right, what do we got now? We got trivia questions. Raise your hand, wait for the question, and I'll try to pick the first hand I see. Okay, let's start off easy. The Frog Brothers, what are their first names? Right over there. Come up here and get a prize. Okay, how about the Doors song in this film, People Are Strange, is performed by what band that's not the Doors? Right here.
Echo and the Bunnymen.
Come up here and get a prize. Corey Feldman and Kiefer Sutherland were in another movie before this at odds with each other. Right there. Come up here and get a prize. All right, now we got one more prize, and this is for the best dressed. Oh, real quick. One more bonus question just for the hell of it. Of the two Coreys, which one is not dead? Just shout that one out. All right, so if you have come dressed to impress or dressed in a costume of a character from the movie and you want to win a really cool special prize, come up here and get in line right now. I saw some people in costumes. Okay, everybody, you know the sexy sax man that's in this? Okay, that's what everybody calls him. That's not what I call him.
It's okay, man. No judgment.
It's Timmy.
His name is like Tom Morello, right? Tim Morello. Write it down. That was going to be a trivia question if I ran out of questions. Tim Capello. That's the guy's name. Okay, that guy, yeah, watch me there. Don't trip. I don't want to trip anybody up. That guy is still performing live.
I still believe it.
He's performing next week at the 8020 Burger Bar. July 28th, and it is sold out. We have the only 2 tickets available to that show. And somebody up here is going to win them. All right, here we go. Ready? Applaud. Okay. enjoy the Sexy Sax Man. Tell him we said hello.
Oh, I will.
You're welcome. And thank you all for playing. Oh, we got to have a drinking game, right? We always do that at Flashback. Okay, so, every time somebody in this movie says, Michael, take a drink, or go get a new drink. Beer, wine, and concessions will be on sale throughout the entire movie, so drink up for a good cause. All right? Are you ready for Lost Boys? All right, let's watch this movie!
Okay, so I just literally walked in the door. I mean, I had enough time to set the camera up, feed the cat, and then bam, start this. So what are my impressions of The Lost Boys? Having never seen it before, I did enjoy it. I had a very good time. I can see why those who saw this movie when it came out, or even when they were younger, they grew up with it. I can see the fascination. I can respect that. I can understand that. Would I watch this movie again? Yeah, maybe, maybe not. I mean, like I said, I did have a good time. I was actually surprised when the credits popped up and I saw Richard Donner's name. I was thinking, I thought for sure this was a Joel Schumacher movie. And then I saw, oh, Richard Donner produced it, Joel Schumacher did direct it. Like, okay, that works. So you got a Superman director and a Batman director. And I just thought it was kind of funny because, you know, Donner did Superman, Schumacher, of course, did 2 Batman films. And then they have the Coreys had a conversation about Superman and Batman comics. Total coincidence, obviously. That was not an actual Easter egg because Schumacher hadn't done the Batman films yet. I want to talk about Schumacher for a second too, because Schumacher was, I mean, don't look at the Batman films. Schumacher was a very good director. He had a very good eye. I really enjoyed Flatliners when I saw that. I've only ever seen it once, and that was back when it aired on HBO. But I do remember enjoying that film. I thought it was very atmospheric, and I loved the colors and things like that. Yes, hello, Marm. You hadn't seen her yet, but this is Lady Marmalade. This is my kitty cat. She's my little furry pin in the butt. Where was it? Okay, yeah, so yeah, Flatliners, which I think was probably the first Joel Schumacher movie I ever saw. I did enjoy it. Only ever saw it one time, but I did remember liking it. Of course, he did Phantom of the Opera. Phantom of the Opera was one of those movies that I've wanted to see, or Phantom of the Opera, I should say, Andrew Lloyd Webber's Phantom of the Opera. Try that again. Was something that I wanted to see as a live-action movie since I was a kid in the 1990s. In fact, the first CD I ever got was the Andrew Lloyd Webber Phantom of the Opera soundtrack because I was a theater nerd. Where was I going with this? Oh, so yeah, so Schumacher was a good director. I like the fact that there was very little visual effects in this movie. Most of the effects are all practical effects, makeup effects, camera tricks, things like that. There was only one really wonky visual effect. You know, seeing Jason Patrick in the mirror, you can see right through him. That was kind of wonky, dated 80s effect. But, you know, it was the 80s. You know, what were you going to do? They didn't have CGI. And it got the job done. We got the point. Speaking of Easter eggs, the Schumacher and Donner Easter egg. In the video store, of course, I know you old fans will know about this. I'm sure it's mentioned on the Internet Movie Database. I've not yet looked it up in the trivia section. I love doing that. After I see a movie, I like to look up all the trivia and stuff. I did, of course, notice the Goonies little sign that they had there. Of course, directed by Richard Donner and co-starring Corey Feldman. I don't know if there was a connection with National Lampoon's European Vacation there. I'm sure that was a Warner Brothers movie, so that's why they had a standee there, but I don't know if there was any other connection. I can't brain about that right now. I did notice, again, purely coincidence. This is purely coincidence. But in the vampire lair, and one scene is real quick, blink and you miss it. There's a Monsters Go Home movie poster, and Edward Herman went on to play Herman Munster in one of the made-for-TV Fox movies back in the late '90s. Again, I just thought that was a strange coincidence. And speaking of Edward Herman as Herman Munster, let's talk about that suit he was wearing. I mean, oh my gosh, I don't know if he was trying out for Herman Munster, that big suit just looked like it was about swallowing him whole. It reminded me of David Byrne from one of the Talking Head music videos when he wore a huge suit, made it look like he had a little head. Was that Burning Down the House? I want to say that was Burning Down the House, but I'm not sure if that's correct. Yeah, I think it's Burning Down the House. Hadn't watched that video in a while. For some odd reason, it's not on my YouTube playlist, because I got a lot of 80s music in my YouTube playlist. So anyway, Corey Haim, I thought, did a fantastic job. I thoroughly loved his performance. He was not that typical annoying 80s teenage kid. I thought the relationship between him and Jason Patrick's character, Michael, worked really well. Diane Wiest, who thought Diane Wiest was in a horror movie? I never would have pictured her being in a horror film. So that was surprising when I saw her name come up. Of course, I already knew Alex Winter was in the film. Jamie Gertz, who, honestly, I think the only other thing I've ever seen her in was Twister, and I thought she was just fine looking in Twister. I kind of had a little, I wouldn't say a crush on her when I was in my early 20s when that movie came out. So a little bit old to be having crushes on Hollywood starlets, but she looked good in that movie. Why are you licking me? Why do you always have to lick me? You're a weirdo. She does it all the time. So they always gotta lick me. So what else? The creepy claw feet when they're hanging upside down. That was, ooh. that actually made me like, oh. I haven't again in the film. That was the one that just got ooh. Yeah, I was also surprised that it wasn't really all that gory for a vampire film. I mean, even after the vampires feasted on the people having the bonfire, and when David tells Michael, you'll never grow old, you'll never die, but you'll still have to feed, and he wipes his mouth. I mean, it was almost like he just had Kool-Aid around his mouth. So yeah, so I was surprised, very little gore. I believe the movie is R-rated, but I don't recall there being any F-bombs and very little gore. I guess maybe because it mainly takes place at night and there are some scary scenes. The MPAA really doesn't like stuff like that. It's like, oh, it takes place at night. Oh, you gave it an R rating. Honestly, I think the movie should have been PG-13. But I had a bit of a geek out moment though. Again, in the scene when Corey Haim's character, whose name I suddenly forgot off the top of my head, Sam. When Sam was in the comic book store for the first time, and he was telling the Frog Brothers that, oh, this comic should go here because Superman has not yet met Lori Lamar. Alliterative names. What a tongue twister. Because Superman had not yet met Lori Lamaris. I got it. I said it. I had a kind of a little geek out moment because I had that comic. That was the very first Superman comic I ever bought. And in fact, some of those comics that were there on that rack, I remember having. I was like, oh, I've got that issue. I had that one. Don't anymore, but it's like, I had that issue. I had that issue. That one. No, I didn't have that one. But yeah, the Frog Brothers, I thought I mean, we're in this over-stylized world as it is, but the Frog Brothers were a little much, you know. Corey Feldman going out on Rambo, trying to be a tough guy. I was really waiting for the part where they actually freak out. He's like, oh my gosh, vampires actually are real. Because I was really thinking that these two guys were just totally full of crap. But apparently they did know what they were talking about. And they were able to get the job done. So, but that was really... Their performances were the only thing that kind of ruined it for me for the movie. I mean, it didn't destroy the film as a whole, but it was a bit tough to swallow, their performances. But yeah, all in all, I really enjoyed the film. I guess if I were to rate it stars, of course, yeah, this is a horror movie channel. I don't want to do stars. So I hadn't thought about that. Because I eventually would like to do like movie reactions and stuff. And once I get my computer fixed, because I was certain furry someone who broke my monitor. She closed the lid on my MacBook, and there was a pen cap or something that she had been playing with that was sitting on the keyboard, and when she closed it, cracked the screen. So it cost me $300. I had to buy a new screen. Just hadn't done it yet. But anyways, once I get my laptop fixed, I can actually upgrade my YouTube videos a little bit better. Because I can only do so much on this iPhone and my iPad. But I digress. Okay, so we'll do skulls instead of stars. So I give it. I give Lost Boys 3 skulls. So I had fun. It wasn't the best movie in the world. It definitely of its time, and I mean, would I watch it again? Yeah, honestly, I probably would watch it again for fun. You know what? One thing that did surprise me. Of course, you'll see the thumbnail. It's a poster that they designed to advertise the Flashback Friday showing. Because every month at the Naro, out there in Norfolk, they have Flashback Fridays where they show a classic film. And so, of course, the poster was of the saxophone player, that singer, that concert that they go see. I was really kind of surprised that scene happened so soon in the movie, because I've seen the pictures. I knew of them, and I figured that was just something that would happen later on in the film. But that was pretty much right there at the beginning of the movie. So I was kind of surprised by that. And that song, I've heard that song many, many times. Did not know that came from, the Lost Boys. So I was surprised by that too. I was like, hey, I know this song. But yeah, like all in all, I had a good time. 3 skulls. So yeah, that was my first time seeing the Lost Boys. I really wish I could have shown my reaction to the film. There were a couple of moments that did kind of stun me. That twist, okay. I did not see that coming. That took me by surprise. That was awesome. I was like, wait a second. Okay, that was cool. That was cool. I did notice Chekhov's gun. I'm not talking about Chekhov from Star Trek. The scene where you see the grandfather. Was it Bernard Hughes? Right, if I remember his name correctly, who was in Tron, played Walter. Earlier when he was putting in the fence post, he's making the giant, putting in the fence post, giant logs that had nice sharp pointy, point to them. I figured that at some point near the end of the film, I really thought David was going to get impaled on that, but no, I was wrong. But the head vampire was impaled by that. That last line, that was funny. So yeah, I'm going to call it a night. I've got a very long day tomorrow. It's late. It's 12:15. And in about a little less than 12 hours, I'm supposed to start up a carnival for my regular job. So that is it. I will see you next time. Remember, give the gift of life. Make sure you're an organ donor. And I'll see you down the road. And have fun.